I really liked Beetlejuice too, but it suffers from not having a consistent theme. On one side, it's a beautiful lesson about how if you become too obsessed with death and everything you've lost, then you forget to be alive. And then on the other side, it's just... What's really interesting about this movie is that the first half is so good. It's almost like perfect for what I want in a spooky Halloween movie. It's got fall foliage, it's got a little New England town and wearing sweaters and trick-or-treating and wearing costumes, and it's creepy and macabre but not disturbing. It's silly and it's fun and there's ghosts and zombies and stuff. And then the second half is so rushed and so unsatisfying. It's just like, meh. I think I accidentally consumed this movie in the best possible way, because I watched the first half and then I had to pause to go do something. And the whole time I couldn't be watching the movie. I was so excited to get back to it. I'm like, yeah, spooky vibes. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to finish this movie. And then I went back to it. I'm like, oh, no. No, no, no. Some people say that Beetlejuice Beetlejuice has too many characters and too many plot lines and too many this, that, and the other things. And I'd argue that you can do something with a lot of characters and a lot of through lines, but as long as they come together at the end and share a theme, it's okay. You can have a ton of people. Like, in Hot Fuzz, there's like a million characters. Hot Fuzz is also a bunch of different kinds of movies. Mystery, thriller, comedy, buddy cop. And it all just molds together because it stays consistent on its theme. So that's what we're gonna do with this movie. We're gonna fix it. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm gonna break it down. We've got main character number 1, Lydia. She's a mom now, and her daughter is Astrid, Jenna Ortega, and her stepmom is Catherine O'Hara, same as the first movie. Lydia has a ghost hunting show. She's a medium. She goes to haunted houses and talks to ghosts and stuff. Her daughter Astrid doesn't believe in ghosts. She's very grumpy at her mom. She's grumpy at the world. She's like, ghosts don't exist and people are stupid for believing in them. Then we have Lydia's stepmom Delia, Catherine O'Hara, who is still a big artist person. Lydia gets told that her father dies, so she has to leave her TV show. And in response to the father dying, Delia wants to make a big art exhibition. Like, she wants to make the house that they lived in draped in black cloth. She wants to just do really dramatic, big mourning. So they all head back to the hometown, the house from the first movie. In the meantime, we're also seeing this spooky zombie lady. She's all patchworked together. She goes around sucking the souls out of people, and she's searching for Beetlejuice. So everybody's at the house. Lydia's trying to keep everything together. Delia's having a mental breakdown, kind of. She's really delving into the art in like a crazy way that's kind of concerning, but she thinks that she's chilling. Of course, Astrid is grumpy. She's really grumpy. Lydia, back at the house, the manager of her TV show decides to propose to her. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, and let's get married right away. We'll get married on Halloween. And she's like, what? I don't know if I want to do that. But everything's so crazy and there's paparazzi and blah, blah, blah. So she just says yes, which makes Astrid very upset. And she is tired of all the press. She's tired of all the hullabaloo. She gets on her bike and rides through the town and is riding way too fast. She crashes through a fence and into a boy's yard. There's a boy in a treehouse. He's like this little hipster kid. He's listening with his little headphones in the treehouse, and he's like, I love 90s music and I love this, that, and the other thing. So Astrid and this boy have a great conversation. She's all like, nobody understands me. I don't believe in ghosts, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm tired of my mom being famous and I don't want to talk about that anymore. So she's bonding with this boy, which I love. Spooky treehouse riding a bike. That's amazing. We find out Astrid is super grumpy about ghosts and Lydia and everything because her dad died. Lydia cannot contact him, or says she can't contact him. And Astrid says, what is the point of you being able to talk to ghosts if you can't talk to the one ghost that I want to talk to? Like, it must all be fake if you can't talk to this one that's so important to me. like stuff there, and it's dumb and bad. So she's got a good reason to be upset. They talk for a very long time, and he invites her to hand out candy with him on Halloween. We go back to the land of the deceased. Willem Dafoe is a detective cop who is trying to figure out who this soul sucker is. So he's on the trail. He's a fun character. He was an actor when he was alive, and then when he died, he became like a real cop, but he kept all the fun acting pizzazz that he had. Like there's a visual gag of him like crushing a coffee cup and throwing it in the trash, and this trash can is like overflowing with coffee cups. So there's a lot of fun little things with Willem Dafoe's character. So Halloween rolls around, and Astrid goes over to the boys' house to hand out candy for trick-or-treaters. They're looking around his room, and they see all these like 90s posters, 90s music, all kinds of stuff, and he's got the handbook for the recently deceased. And she's like, "What's that?" And he's like, "It's just an old book I found at like a yard sale." Then she's like, "Okay, well, I brought a bunch of candy. We can start handing it out to the trick-or-treaters." And he's like, "Actually, I just wanted to hang out with you." So then they hug or kiss or something, and they float up into the air, just like Lydia did at the end of the first movie when they were doing the dance number. So it's revealed that this boy is a ghost. And even though Astrid didn't believe in ghosts, she can see them just like her mom. So that explains his little handbook. And that explains all the 90s music, because he died in the 90s. So spooky. Woo! That's so fun. I love that. So goosebumpy. That's the technical term. So now that we know that he's a ghost, he tells her like, "Hey, do you want to come with me to the land of the deceased? Because I know how to do that, because I read the little book." Call back to the first movie. "Just to do this with me, and you can see your dad again." And so she's like, "Of course, I would love to do that. I want to go see my dad again." And she goes through the portal. This is where the movie loses me. They go through this portal, and it's revealed that the boy is trying to trick Astrid into giving up her life and her soul so that he can be alive again. And they find out that he murdered his parents, and that's why they were in the house, and blah, blah, blah. Like, a realtor tells Lydia, "That house has been abandoned for years because of the murder." I find that unnecessary. Why couldn't they just have been, it could have been any other reason. Carbon monoxide, I don't know. So, this guy's a bad guy. Well, maybe not quotes. "So this ghost boy's bad news." So he takes her, they're in the land of the deceased, and he's tricking her into giving up her soul, and he does it right away. And Lydia's like, "I got the news from the realtor that that's a ghost boy and he's trying to take her soul. So I gotta go talk to Beetlejuice and have him help me out to go save her." Beetlejuice is like, "I'll help you go save her, but you gotta marry me, just like in the first movie, because I never gave up on that." And then she's like, "Okay." So she agrees to marry him. They go into the land of the deceased. And then there's this very strange dance sequence. They're like, Astrid has to go on the soul train, and if she goes on the soul train, then she can never be saved again. And then they do a whole soul train dance number. It's supposed to be like a chaotic rescue scene where Astrid glances and sees her dad, and we see the grandfather who also died, and all this is hullabaloo. But I'm like, why is there a dance number? Right away, they find Astrid. They save her. And the boy thinks he's gonna get away with it, but then Beetlejuice is like, "Nope," and he falls in a hole, and that's done. That's done. That's all done. Whoa, foiled. We got to hear his plan, and it was foiled all within about 5 minutes. Oh, wow. And then they all go back to the land of the living. Astrid's safe and sound. Yay, she got her soul back, blah, blah, blah. And since it's Halloween, it's the day of the wedding. Beetlejuice wants to marry Lydia, because that's what they agreed. But the fiance also wants to marry Lydia. So then Beetlejuice is like, "Here's a truth serum, fiance." And then the fiance is like, "I only wanted to marry you for money, and your ghost business is stupid." It's like, that's, okay, wait, what? Okay, that's a little bit like, way too on the nose. Just, why, it could have been like a lot more clever with that. And then the ex-wife shows up. Oh no, ex-wife! Ah! Then Lydia and Astrid go through a door to that spooky sand planet with the sandworms and bring the sandworm back, and the sandworm eats the ex-wife and eats the fiance, and that's the end of that. And Beetlejuice is like, okay, time to get married. And he pulls out the little contract that she signed, and Astrid is like, well, it's illegal to bring people who are living into the land of the deceased, so that contract's null and void. And it just bursts into flames, and the end. Oh yeah, and in the meantime, Delia dies from snake bites. Because she was trying to do a really big art project, and they said that they were unpoisonified, but they weren't, and they bit her, and she died. The end. Wasn't that fun? Didn't you have loads of fun in that second half? Everything was just wrapped up so well, huh? Okie dokie. So now let's get to how to fix it. First half, very good. I loved all the setup. There's this channel called the Closer Look that I really like. They do a lot of script writing tips, character breakdowns, and like how to write a good character and that kind of stuff. And they have a video about this movie where they pointed out that 50 minutes, 50 minutes of this movie is exposition. It's just act 1. So then act 2 and 3 are crammed into the last half. And that's why it's like so rushed and so unsatisfactory, and they really didn't need that dance number in front of the train. In the Closer Look video, he had said like, let's just cut a couple plot lines so that we have time for these things to grow, which is fair, but I want to try to do it without having to cut any plot lines or any characters, because there's benefits of them. Like the creepy ex-wife, her character is creepy and macabre, and that's so missing from so many movies now, where either movies take themselves very seriously, where they're trying to isolate the audience and they're trying to push boundaries and they're trying to make you uncomfortable and do something crazy, or they're really meta and funny, and if they do something gory, it's over the top to be funny. It's not supposed to make you that upset. It's all very tame, or it doesn't really commit. Whereas in this movie, I really like how it's macabre and creepy, and it doesn't back off, but it's not too macabre and too creepy. It's like unsettling, but not disturbing, because it's the villain. It's creepy. It's Beetlejuice practical effects. Gross, but not too yuck. Why did you force me to look at that? And I love that it has that balance. So I don't want to have to cut that. The first half of the movie really aligns with the theme of being so obsessed with death that you forget to live, and so obsessed with your dead loved ones that you forget about the alive ones. Delia fits this theme because she does really big art projects to deal with her husband's death instead of just talking to her daughter and her granddaughter about it. Lydia does this because she has a whole show about talking to ghosts and dead people, but she can't even contact her own husband. And Astrid has this because she's so obsessed with her dad's death and so angry about her mom not being able to talk to him that she can't connect with anybody. She doesn't connect to her whole school. The only person she has a connection with is a ghost. Now that's obsessed with death for you. Haha, yeah. So goth. So this is how we'll fix it. We'll keep all the exposition. Lydia is still engaged to her manager. Astrid's still going into the world of the deceased with the ghost boy. Delia is still doing her art project. There's still the cop, there's still the ex-wife. Instead of the ghost boy being a murderer, Lydia finds out that the ghost boy and his family died in a tragic accident, just like the ghosts in the first movie. Because I don't think it's necessary to have the ghost boy be evil. I think he can just genuinely want to help Astrid see her dad again, because they have a bond. Like, most people can't see ghosts. And finally he found a friend and he wants to help her out. I think that that's perfectly fine. That's a nice, pleasant way to do it. Instead of the ghost boy being shady and manipulative and trying to take Astrid's soul, it's just that there's a time limit in the land of the deceased. The longer a living person is in the land of the deceased, the less they can get back to the land of the living. Like, they start to die as they're there, kind of like in Hercules, when Hercules has to go save Meg, something like that. So then those are the stakes. there's a time limit. And at first to Astrid, that doesn't seem like such a big deal because she misses her dad and doesn't like her mom anyway, so she's just like, I'll just hang out with my dad, that's fine. Same as in the movie, Lydia gets to the ghost boy's house at the last minute and sees that the portal is closing to the land of the deceased, so she has to contact Beetlejuice to help her get into the land of the deceased. And in return, Beetlejuice says, well, if I help you with this, then you have to marry me, and Lydia agrees. Lydia and Beetlejuice travel into the land of the deceased. Lydia finds Astrid and sees her talking to her dad, and it's a very touching moment because Lydia is seeing her daughter happy again, seeing how important it is to her to talk to her dad, seeing how happy they are together. She learns the effect that her work has on her daughter as well, that the TV show is too big of a spectacle when she just wants to talk to her mom. She just wants somebody to care about the death that affects her. Her mom cares about the death that affects all of the public but can't seem to see her daughter. And when Lydia sees Astrid talking to her dad in the land of the deceased, it really strikes her that this is so important and my daughter is more important than all those people on TV. She goes up to them and Astrid sees that Lydia has risked her life to save her and sees how much her mom cares about her. And although Astrid really misses her dad explains to her that he's not going anywhere. He'll always be here for her when that time comes, but she's got a whole life to live. So Astrid decides to go back to the land of the living with her mom. But then Beetlejuice stops them because he's like, hey, you agreed to marry me, you're not going anywhere. But at the same time, the cop comes in trying to stop him, and the ex-wife comes in trying to stop him, and luckily he gets distracted, and Lydia and Astrid find out a way to escape on their own, which is significant because they just went through this emotional journey. It's important that they figure out a way to get out on their own. They pulled themselves out. They worked together to get out. So Lydia and Astrid get back home just in time for the wedding. Lydia explains to her fiance what happened, how crazy it was, how she went to the land of the dead, and it was crazy, and she's all shook up, and she's so happy to be with her daughter again and that she's safe. And all the fiance can think about is how good this will be for ratings, and how now she can travel to the land of the dead, and that would be crazy for TV, and you should do that, and let's get back to work right away, it's so important. And Lydia hears what he's saying and realizes that that's not what she wants anymore. She saw the impact talking to the dad had on Astrid and wants to do her show to genuinely help people instead of having it super commercial as it was. So Lydia and her fiance just naturally break up because their priorities have shifted. Instead of Delia dying, she sees the effect that the spectacle of this art project has on her family and how shaken up they are and how she almost lost both of them to all of this rigmarole. Like Astrid ran away and almost died, and Delia sees, oh, I kind of contributed to that. My family is very important and I don't want to lose them, and I don't want this art to get in the way of this anymore. Ta-da! Ta-da! There you go. That's how you do it. That's how you close out the movie and get everybody to fit into the theme and to make every plot line matter and every character matter and everything makes sense. And then we can have a scene at the end where Beetlejuice and the ex-wife have gotten back together, like that trope of toxic couples where they're reunited and they fall back in love for whatever weird reason. They fall back in love. Beetlejuice gets arrested by the cop and him and the ex-wife are in jail together, but it's going pretty poorly and he regrets it and he wants to be let out. Having a soul-sucking ex-wife is pretty on the nose about being stuck in the past and haunted by your past. That goes with the theme of being so obsessed with death that you can't be alive, like so obsessed with the past that you can't live in the present, is an even more general theme. And that fits right in, having a wife that's literally haunting you and wants revenge in your soul. Beetlejuice is not a good guy, so he can pick the wrong choice and have to deal with the consequences. So there, I fixed Beetlejuice too. I fixed Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. Just for you. Happy birthday. Is it your birthday? Happy birthday! This was important for me to do. The first half of this movie was almost a perfect spooky Halloween movie for me, and the second half was so unsatisfying. It was so upsetting and so disappointing, and I wanted the good movie. I wanted it good. I was pleasantly surprised that this movie wasn't just pandering, because the trailers were just pandering. They were, period. They were just like, they're shrunken head guys, and here's Beetlejuice again, and he's doing something crazy, blah blah blah. And I'm so happy that it wasn't just that. Of course it had pandering, but they tried to justify it in the plot, you know? The shrunken head guys were employees, they weren't just running around, you know? So that's kind of fun. I hope you had fun watching. I had a lot of fun. If you liked the video, please like the video. If there was a favorite moment, please comment about it. Sometimes it kind of feels like I'm just making videos into the void, so any kind of feedback would be helpful. I mean, please be nice, please be constructive, but any kind of feedback would be much appreciated. I want to make videos that are helpful for people, and without any feedback, that's kind of hard to tell. So if you want to help me out, please interact with the video. That would be, thank you. That's all for now. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.